Okay, so this is now the start of the Revit exercise. What I've done is I've produced the basement, or it's a slight simplification of the basement, but it has got all the piles here, the pile caps you can see underneath. So if you want to look at the drawings, you can see where they came from. And then you can see a ground floor or a basement slab, and then some basement walls, and then this is the ground floor slab. So this slab that's now highlighted in blue is the same as ground level, so that's where you'd walk into the structure. So all this is below ground. What I've done now is I have shown you this in 3D space. I'd recommend in 3D space that you, for things like isometrics, you can hide these levels because they can be confusing. But if you come to the, say, south elevation, ZE, these levels are very useful. You'll see I've deleted a level because I want you to know how to add a level. So I've put them all in and then deleted one. And the same with the grid lines, I've also deleted a grid line too. So you need to learn how to add those grid lines and levels. So this is now will be complete. So what I want you to do is to basically draw the slabs at level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 using the drawings that I've provided, and also add in all the columns that will go between these levels. To work out what to do and how to do this, you need to read the brief carefully, and I would also suggest you plan very carefully what families that you're going to make and how you're going to name them. We want sensible names, we want a professional schedule, so that when you produce these schedules, things make sense. So I've got a couple of schedules I've started. So structural foundation schedule. This is just showing these bottom piles. So you've got pile type A through to H. So I've already put those in. They're named. There's one of each. Here are the volumes. And then I've added the EC factor, the density, the mass, and then the total. What I want you to do is to have a total mass for this and a total EC for this. You'll need to add these things in by going into the family and embedding them. So I've done this one as an example, but what I want you to do is to actually embed them. So you'd go to pile type B. Let me show you how you do that. So you go into the 3D model, find pile cap B, where it is. So that's A. You've got to find out where pile cap B is in the scheme of things around the back here. So that's pile cap B. So double click on there, and you get this pile cap B. So you've double clicked, you've gone into the family. So you now want to add properties into this family. When you're creating your families, please add your properties as you draw them. But these haven't got the properties in that you want, the EC factor and the density, so you can add these in. So if you remember, if you're selecting this, you'll get these properties tabs here. So if you go to this properties here, you can then add a new parameter. And that's as I showed you before. So you add a parameter, call it what you need to call it for it to add the EC factor and the density, and you can get the numbers in here. And you press OK, and then when you've done that, you can then reload that into the project, and then make sure you put override factors when it comes to it, and then you'll be back in there. So I've not done that for speed, and I'll let you sort out how to do that. So now back in this family, so we're going to end up with a schedule, structural foundation schedule, which will be complete, and then for the new models that you create, we're using generic models, so this is a separate schedule. This time I've got the family count and the volume, but I've taken away all the other parameters. So I want you to add in, if I go back to this one, I want you to add in, after family count and volume, I want to add in your version of these. So you can look at this and work out how it's been done, and then add them into this schedule. So you'll end up with a schedule here with another 4 columns and adding the same things. Within these schedules, you have to be very careful. So if you go into properties, you get all these fields. You need to be very careful about how you do all these. So things like formatting, and don't want to have lots of decimal places that mean nothing. So maximum of 2 decimal places I would have thought were relevant. and in some areas, if you go to the formatting I've used in the foundations, it'd be good to copy that and have a nice simple looking schedule. So as you add families into this model, this project, please make sure they're coming in here, and if you start off with a schedule here with the parameters, then they should all be coming in as you add things in. So when you add another family, say called slab level 1, you'll see things fill up as you go across, so make sure you're doing things correct. You can soon find out if you've added too many columns or slabs. You'll get the numbers here. Sometimes you can overlay things, so you've got to check that kind of error. Make sure these are professional titles and not silly things like big column or column on the left or whatever. As you go through this now, please ask either myself and the other staff members helping you with this project. But please start off by having a go and don't just say, what do I do next? We'd rather you be saying, I've been trying to do this and this is what I've done, I've found this problem, how do I get around it? Rather than doing that. Just a reminder that please don't start this coursework before you've actually finished exercise 2 and had that signed off by one of the demonstrators. And then once you've done that, you can start on this coursework. Please make sure to read the brief, because there's information you need to show on the sheets which haven't described in this video, so you're going to have to add in some sheets and add in some text on the sheets to show all the information I've requested in the brief. Okay, thank you.